Reef, I wanted to check in with you to see, I know that people are commenting and have questions. So is there anything that you'd like to ask the chairman? That's
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
INN member,
we have a lot. Whoa,
INN member Colin has, how would you define organization and what does organization look like in your opinion?
How do you define organization? Well, I don't know if all organizations look the same. We have a particular form of organization that, frankly, was influenced by a man named Vladimir Lenin, who happened to be Russian, which this government would be opposed to, the existing Russian government. And it's based on certain organizational principles. It presupposes that the people have come together around some basic principles and that they have established principles and methodology through which they would carry out the aims that they've established collectively for themselves. And I mean, I don't have some kind of academic explanation of organization. I don't have an academic. I can't. Yeah.
That's anything else you got there, Reef?
Not yet. I'll wait for some more to come in.
Okay, you've got a lot of comments though.
I will say that it is the only weapon that the people have. It is the means by which people can come together collectively and have unity of will and of action. It's that, you know, and without organization, we have nothing. Otherwise, we try to take this thing on just as individuals, and we are outnumbered considerably. And they come in the night with various kinds of forces and a great capacity of organization. The weakness of the working class, of the exploited and oppressed and colonized people of the world, a critical aspect of that is organization, the lack of organization. So, I mean, it's a fundamental question, it's a fundamental issue.
One more question. What advice do you have for someone new to Black August? Asked Yeeper99. If you have anything to add on that.
Well, Black August is something that's become really important in part because of the experience of African people who are being imprisoned. And the Black August movement revolves around just the historical significance of August. And Marcus Garvey was born in August. George Jackson and Jonathan Jackson were killed in August. And these were George Jackson, of course, revolutionary, became a revolutionary while in prison. His brother was killed in was killed there in California, trying to free him. And so Black August, you know, has been something that's held up very, very seriously, and it's used as a means to organize African people, especially paying attention to the question of political prisoners, something that's ignored in this country. This country pretends there not to be anything like political prisoners. They talk about gulags, and when they talk about Russia, but the fact is that 1 out of every 8 human beings on earth who's in prison is an African in this country. And so, you know, there are more African people in prison in the United States than there are people in some countries in Africa. So, so there's a lot of attention through Black August is given to that. And the thing I would say is to activists dealing with the issue of Black August is that you have to dig in around that question, especially around political prisoners and prisoners of war. But you have to also be able to connect that struggle to the larger struggle. That the fact is there must be a toward end, because as long as this social system continues to exist on the planet Earth, as long as colonialism continues to exist, then there are going to be political prisoners, prisoners of war, FBI raids, pre-dawn raids, and things like that. So it's absolutely necessary to fight against the pre-dawn raids and free the political prisoners and prisoners of war, at least to establish movements and struggles to do that. Because for one thing, in people engaging in struggle, it enhances their capacity to struggle. You know, that's how people learn through engaging in struggle. And that's how they also learn the limitations of the system that oppresses us. So do that, but also you have to come to a conclusion to what end. What is it that we're fighting for ultimately? You've got to be able to be a part of a process that is engaged in destroying the past of colonialism and capitalism and oppression, and building a future of free human beings, free of bosses and workers and slaves and masters. That's the kind of world that we have to be in the process of constructing, and having some kind of science that informs what it is that how we carry that out.